Hello, I'm Philly, and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight, I am making one of my family's favorite meals, and that is Greek turkey burgers. Now, this is a recipe that has been around for a long time with my family, and we're going to get right to it. I do realize that I want to adjust a couple things for my picture here. Let me see here if I can get this to bypass the computer. Yes, a couple technical things, friends. Just want to make sure. Sometimes when you're setting up a live stream, you're not really sure how everything is going to look. So Alvin, welcome. Thank you. I'm just doing a couple of adjustments. I'm going to try and move that so the computer's out of the way. That's how I get to converse with you all. And I did forget to turn on one of my lights. I thought I was ready, but you know what they say, when you think you're ready, sometimes you're not. So let me just adjust that, and I'm going to be right with you all. Okay, so Alvin, thanks for joining, and for anyone else that is joining, thank you so much. This recipe, like I said, is just a family favorite of ours, and just so you know, I absolutely love a delicious traditional hamburger. But one thing I found for my family was sometimes I wanted to mix up some of the burgers that we would eat and make and bring some other kinds of proteins that were mixing things up healthier. Beef is kind of a treat for us, and so turkey tended to be cheaper. You could also substitute chicken for this. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to start forming the burgers, because when you're working, especially with poultry burgers, they do appreciate having a little bit of time to chill before you put them on the grill, or in my case, a grill pan, since I'm in the city and I don't have an outside space, as you all well know. So these would be great on both. When we were in the suburbs, I definitely put these burgers on the grill. So welcome to the stream. And Barbara, welcome. I'm so glad you could join. And Matthew and Kathy, oh my gosh. Oh, yep, Kath, you just keep on working. And what a lovely little group we have here. I'm so appreciative of you guys watching, and anyone watching from afar, thank you as well. So, by the way, all the information, there's some links below. The recipe that I used today has kind of been adapted from two recipes below. I'm also going to be making a Greek salad. We will be doing that in a little bit, but first we're going to get these burgers going so they can chill a little bit. So a little bit about how do you make a good juicy burger? I had that question posed to me on Twitter. And so what I have found, two things to keep in mind if you're making poultry burgers and you want them to be juicy and not dry. The first thing is, don't go total lean on the meat. If you would get, for instance, chicken breast, ground chicken breast, that is super healthy, but it's also super dry. And so you're not going to be happy with the results. So in the turkey realm, it's usually 85-15, just kind of like you would for a juicy regular burger. So that's going to have a good amount of the dark meat in there, which is going to provide some fat that's going to help keep things juicy. But this Greek burger has a couple other things that help keep it juicy as well. So this is foolproof. As long as you don't cook the heck out of it until it's way overdone, you will have a very juicy turkey burger. And we'll talk about that once we get it cooking, because certainly for poultry, you need to cook it all the way. And I will say you can always err on the side of caution and use a thermometer, which is what I would recommend. After all these years, I kind of know when they're done by touch. But certainly, if you're not comfortable with it, use a thermometer. So, but these are super juicy, even that being said. The other thing I like to do, this could certainly be made, this recipe, with just a pound of ground turkey. But what I like to do is and you might not have this at your store, but at the store I go to, they have this one brand, actually Shady Brook Farms, and they have a package that comes in just over, like I guess it's almost 5 ounces over a pound. And what I find is that when you divide, so it's 20.8 ounces, 1.3 pounds, I find that when you divide that into 4, it makes just wonderfully sized burgers, especially with the things we're going to be adding to them to make these Greek burgers. So I just wanted you to keep that in mind too. But you could do chicken, you could do turkey. You could do lamb if you wanted to bring in another kind of protein. Lamb would be delicious. But what we've always done, we've always used turkey because we've always been able to find it. So I'm so excited. And Archie, I know, and Archie, I was thinking about you, and I'm just going to let you know right now, there will not be fries tonight because, as you know, Hubs and I are all about balance. So we love to splurge, but this is just a weekday meal. He's going to be home. I don't know if he'll be here in time before the end of the stream, but he'll be there soon after. And so we try to keep things healthy-ish in the middle of the week, and we like to splurge on the weekends. So that's kind of how we do things. So let me just wash my hands because I just want to make sure that they are clean. And usually I know right away when I'm coming to see y'all, but at this point I was thinking, I've been touching a lot of things, and let me just make sure they're washed. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix these burgers. So while the links are below and the recipes are below, I do not use the recipes for either anymore because I kind of just made them my own. So if for someone to start, you can definitely go to those links, and I will tell you kind of what I don't do and how I might do things differently myself with good results. So I'm going to get a bowl. Where did I put? Oh, here's my bowl. All right. I'm going to get a bowl to mix our meat. And so the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump my turkey in there. So how is everyone doing today? Archie, you've been having some really nice weather, which is wonderful. How's everyone's weather been? It has, by the way, here it is, today was actually a low humidity day. It got warm, but I'm not complaining because as long as that humidity is at bay, I can deal with some of the warmer temperatures. So I just dumped the turkey in. The next thing I like to do, because you've probably heard this with other people talking about any kind of burger, but you don't want to compact things. Because when you compact beef, lamb, turkey, chicken, really tight, it's just going to make a hockey puck, and it's not going to be as juicy. It's just going to be too tight together. I don't even know how else to describe it. So what I like to do before I even get started is I just take my fork and I just kind of loosen. I'm just kind of literally loosening things up a bit here. Just taking my fork and doing that. And before I go any further, I am going to take my rings off because I am going to need to form these burgers, and I do not want my rings there for that. All right. So we're going to get a couple things prepped that are going to go with our turkey. The first thing I'm going to prep is spinach. Now, on the recipe that is in the link, when I first made this the very first time, I don't even remember exactly how much they had, but I like a good amount of spinach in here. So you can, if you're worried about your family, by the way, I had one of the pickiest boys, my youngest, Matt, and he would eat these. These taste so delicious. He loved these. So I don't know, this is just like a nice, healthy handful of spinach, and then you're just going to chop it. Now, again, this is not a hard or fast rule. Chop it as you like. Because I had someone pickier, I definitely tried to chop it, not fine, but definitely I like to give it a good chop so that that does not look nice, so that he would not get any huge pieces. But I'm telling you, the spinach in here did not bother him. It was the one way I could get him to eat spinach. So I'm just kind of running my knife through this until things look kind of uniform. This is one of the secrets that makes this burger so good because this vegetable, spinach, we all know what happens to spinach when we put it in a pan and cook it. It shrinks, but it also releases moisture. That moisture is going to help your burger. So this is just, as you can see, kind of a handful of chopped spinach, fresh. I definitely recommend using fresh. If you only have frozen, obviously use that, but the moisture in the fresh absolutely helps everything go along. So I'm going to rinse my knife because the next thing we're going to get in here is some feta. Now I did find, it was funny, I was trying to get feta at my local grocery store and they were out of the one I wanted, so I went to my local market where I could walk, and they had one that was truly local. It's from Lambertville, New Jersey, which I got a kick out of because that's not too far from here, and this is their feta. And again, so we like feta. We like that saltiness in our burger. So I'm going to just eyeball. So I'm going to slice one. And see, I always forget exactly what I do till I start. So I just did 2 slices, and I do recommend getting the brick of feta. I'm going to start with 2 and then see how that looks. How about that? Okay, so I did 2 slices, and then I just like to kind of run my knife through it a couple times. I don't mind. I want there to be chunks of it in there. I don't want it to be totally crumbled because it's really wonderful getting a nice piece of feta. And this to me doesn't look like quite enough. So I'm going to put another little, so let's just say 3 slabs. 3 slices of feta. And then we're going to be saving this because we're going to use this in a Greek salad that we're going to make and have with our burgers. Now, I will tell you, this recipe made me think of a fabulous Greek grocery store that is in the northeast Philly. It's called the N&E Agora. And I had a friend, a colleague, a few years ago who is Greek, and she told me about this place. And I will tell you that I never had a Kalamata olive like the olives they had there, and I never had feta like their feta. This is from Lambertville. This is lovely, local. This is not that Greek feta. If you are ever able to get your hands from a Greek marketplace, a little grocery store that really gets it in, imported, it is unlike anything you will have ever had. It is the most creamy, delicious. So I would love if I could be putting that in there, but I was not up by there lately, so we're not going to be having the really authentic ingredients. But I also know that most of you, you're going to be able to get what you can get, right? And most of us can get our hands on a chunk of feta of some sort, so this will be just fine. The other thing that's nice about the feta on here is it gives a saltiness. And while feta is a drier cheese, there also is, I feel like, this sense of moisture that comes from it that really makes this burger delicious. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so we've got our spinach and our feta. The next few things, and there's just a few, we're going to be adding is a little drizzle of olive oil, some oregano, and some breadcrumbs. So now breadcrumbs, you can use plain, you can use seasoned. I've done both. So really use whatever you have. I'm sure could use panko, but I'm just using classic breadcrumbs for this. I actually, kind of have both, and I know you'd all find that to be a real surprise, right? That I have whole wheat panko, regular panko, seasoned, and white breadcrumbs. So really, whatever your fancy is, and don't go too far on this. This you probably should check the recipe to see how much they say. I feel like it's about, 2 tablespoons maybe. Maybe not even that. Like I don't put a ton of breadcrumbs because I'm not making a meatball, right? It's just a little bit to help it hold together. Then I'm going to put in some oregano, some dried oregano, and I'll say probably about a 1/4 teaspoon. Put the rest of that in. I'm going to save this for our dressing. And I'm going to just put like a drizzle of olive oil. I'm sure there was an amount, not too much, just a drizzle. And that's it. We do not need to add any salt to it because the feta gives it a saltiness. So, it's really super easy. I'm going to shift this now so we can make our burgers, and we're going to put this all together. Let's see what's going on in the chat. So you are getting eaten by gnats, Archie. I am so sorry to hear that, my friend. They must like you. They must know that you're super sweet outside that salty exterior, right? Right, my friend Arch? And then DS is in the house. I must have missed it. Hi, DS. Hi, Ruby. I think I need to catch up on the chat. Let me look here. Yep, DS. Oh, you've got to go. No worries. No worries. I gotcha. And then is it white? So this is a mix. So the 85-15 mixture of turkey that I get, Archie, is a mix of both. And what I was saying earlier is don't go lean with these turkey burgers. You want to, just like with your beef, you want to be about 85-15 whether you're making turkey or chicken burgers. Now you can see what I'm just doing now is I don't want to mix these up like meatballs. I'm just folding these together just so that everything kind of gets interspersed, and then we're going to be making them. So again, we don't want to create hockey pucks. We want to create lovely burgers that kind of are moist and flavorful, and they're not dense. We don't want dense. Dense would not be what we're looking for. And then I just eyeball it. I don't know if you all do this, but I do this little thing where I kind of go half, and then I go half, and I kind of bring chunks of the meat to my plate. I probably am more fussy about this than any of you, but I just like my burgers to be kind of around the same size. So I'm just estimating now because I can always make adjustments after I get it on the plate before I form them. So you all probably think Philly's lost her mind. Like that one looks a little small, so I need to give that one a little bit more. And then I just start forming them once I see that they look about the same. And see, that kind of works for me. They look about the same. So now I'm just going to put them together. This one does look a little bit large. Take a little bit of that. Okay, so then to form them, all you're going to do, you know how to form these burgers, friends. There we go. I'm just going to carefully, what I like to do is so when I was younger, I remember my dad went through a phase where his burgers just they really grew vertically. And these were beef burgers. And so one of the things I knew right off the bat, and then he didn't do that forever, but there was a period of time, I just remember that. So maybe I'm remembering something crazy, but I do seem to remember that. So one of the things I know I always try to do when I make a burger is I try to make them a little bit flatter. I don't know if you can all see this. See that? Make them a little bit flatter. And I just kind of bring in the edges gently. I'm not pushing hard on this, and then that's good. So I'm going to do that with the rest of them. And then let's see, Eugenia says I'm making fries tonight with American Wagyu burgers. I've never cooked with that, Eugenia. I think, honestly, I've only gotten Wagyu out because I'm afraid, like, what if I overcook it? I have this like performance anxiety with that, so a little bit nervous, but I have gotten Wagyu out, and that is phenomenal. So good for you. You better show some pictures of that, my friend. I cannot wait to see that. And yes, Kalamata olives. Barbara, we are going to be putting some in our Greek salad that we're going to have on the side here. There we go. So I'm just putting these together. And then these are going to go in the fridge and just chill a little bit until we're ready to cook them. And it won't be too long, but I just want to, in other words, if you're making this and you're not putting them on right away because, you're fixing some other things before your grill's getting hot or whatnot, I would definitely recommend putting them in and you'll find, by the way, some of the spinach comes off. That's fine, no biggies. But let me just show you kind of, so you can see, like, look how gorgeous that is. You can see the feta, the spinach. I'm just telling you, these are so flavorful. They're just one of my favorites. They're one of those things, and I'm sure you all have recipes, you try it at one point with your family, and they just become fast favorites. And so we actually have cooked these all through the year, but we have them most often in the summertime. And what's great is these are also really good on a grill pan. So those are ready. I'm going to wash my hands, get these in the fridge, and we are going to go on to our next steps. All right, so we're going to let these chill a little bit. I'm going to get my grill pan going just so it can start getting heated up, because just like on a regular grill, you want your grill pan to be nice and ready. And I'm really happy with the grill pan I have. I got it, I don't know, a couple years ago. Let me see if I can even see the name of it. Nope, because I would need glasses. So it looks like this on the back. And what I like about it, it has a little bit deeper groove than some of the grill pans I'd used in the past. So I really like that it can make lovely marks. I know this is not mimicking the flavor of a grill, but seeing as I don't have an outside space, this is what I got. So this is what I'm going to be using. So I put this out here, and I'm just going to start getting this heated up by putting it on medium for right now. What I find I do, just like I do with a regular grill, is do have a lid. I recommend that. I find, for me, especially with these poultry burgers, it helps them kind of cook, because what we'll be doing as far as technique is we'll be searing one side, and then we're going to turn down the heat so it can cook about 4 minutes. Then we'll flip, bring up the heat, sear the other side, and then cook 4 minutes. And when we're not searing, I have it covered, and I just feel like it helps kind of keep a lot of warmth that's helping cook those burgers, but not dry them out. So, so that has worked well for me. So I highly recommend a lid. And I won't put the lid all the way on top, by the way. I put it where there's, and I'll show you, I'll bring the camera over, where there's just a little bit open so stuff can be escaping, but it just kind of creates a nice happy home where they cook them. All right, so I'm gonna put these in the fridge. Let me show you how they all turned out. You can see those lovelies. Get those chilling until we're ready. Whoops. There we go. All right. So let me catch up on the chat with y'all. Let's see what you're all saying. I got to come up a little closer. Oh, Amy. Hey. It's so good to have you on. And Eugenia was saying, I don't know about other places, but the Greek restaurants here serve piles of fries, Archie. And then Archie says, I buy thigh, which is 8% fat. The breast is 2% fat, but too dry on its own, in my opinion. I agree. And the stuff I have says 15%. So I'm not really sure where they're getting the other fat from. But I think it probably has to do with, because when you think of thighs, there is some fat that is around them. But it puts it at 15% at our store, so if that helps you. And yes, I've seen breasts separately. So I've seen, I can definitely get, not turkey, but in chicken, I can get chicken breast separate. But yeah, you have to do it yourself. And Barb's, you have a Le Creuset. And then Eugenia says she has a Le Creuset grill pan. She loves it. Can't type today. Oh, you're doing great. You are doing great. Okay, I'm going to have to, well, no, I can't look because I just put my heat on. Let me get my glasses and check that out. I don't think that's what this one is, but I'm really happy with it. I feel like it heats up evenly. So let me get my, because this will probably already starting to get hot. Let's take a peek what this is. It is Jean-Patrick. Jean-Patrick. I don't remember where I got it. I know I ordered it, but I don't recall what I had seen that gave me the reason to order it. So our grill pan's heating up, and next thing we're going to do is start prepping for the salad, and we'll be putting the burgers on soon. So I do have to share. I really have found, the YouTube and Twitter foodies, not y'all are so kind and nice, but really funny because when I first came on and started releasing videos, I think it was a video of, I called it a Greek salad. And I had some people comment that told me very astutely that that was not a Greek salad because of this or because of that or because of, so I've learned that I really hesitate to say Greek turkey burger. I feel like I should always say Greek styled. I am no way trying to take over. I'm not Greek by heritage. I do know people, have friends who are Greek, but it was just so interesting. Like people really kind of come at you. So everything today is Greek style with Greek flavors. I'm not saying that this is what they make over there, but this is really delicious, and I love these flavors. In fact, some of my favorite restaurants are Greek restaurants. I just love the fish they cook there. I love the flavors. Everything's fresh. It's just absolutely delicious. So for our salad, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be keeping it more Greek, which is there won't be lettuce in our salad per se, although I see nothing wrong with putting lettuce in a salad. But if you call it a Greek salad, they'll come at you if you put lettuce in. So, but this is definitely not going to have lettuce in it. Not that you couldn't. And so I'm going to cut some of this cheese while I have it right here to put in this Greek salad. So I'm going to be doing 2 more planks, and I'm just going to cube that up. So I was wondering, does anybody else cook any of these poultry burgers? Because they have made great weeknight meals for my family through the years. And, it just was a nice, something that was just, I don't know, like I said, we do eat beef, but we don't eat beef all the time. And so a lot of times the boys especially would get their special hamburgers out, like the fancy ones with all the fancy ingredients. But at home we would cook these poultry burgers, and this was one of the ones that we cooked. So I'm just wondering what your all's experience is with them. I will say I don't usually get a turkey burger out because if I'm going out, I want a beef burger, right? Or a lamb burger. I've gotten lamb burgers out too. So, so we've got our feta cubed up. Next, I'm going to be getting some cucumbers, some red onion, some pepper, which happens to be orange, and some Kalamata olives. And tomatoes. Oh my goodness, how could I forget tomatoes? So I've got, and by the way, it's whatever you can find. So these happen to be some really pretty red, orange, and yellow tomatoes, little cherry tomatoes. And I happen to have an orange pepper. I've got my Kalamata olives, and I've got some red onion that I use all the time, especially in the summertime, that I'm going to be using up for this. Okay, that's going to get us started. So next, I'm just going to cut up this red onion. You could put more in. I'm not putting a ton in. And I'm just kind of giving it a rough chop. And you can slice it. You can do it too how you like it. This one I know is not super hot. I find that every once in a while you get a hot one, but generally I feel like red onions have a really great flavor that I very much enjoy. So if I see like a big piece, I might cut it a little bit smaller. So I have my red onion. Now I found Kirby cucumbers. So with these Kirby's, you can leave the skin on, but if the skin ever bothers you, you could obviously take off the skin, but I don't have a problem with it. So I'm just going to cube these up. And let's see here. Oh, and Archie was saying I can also get turkey and pork minced ground meat, which is 15% fat. Ooh, turkey and pork, that's interesting. There are many variations. Yes, Arch, I know. I feel the same way. The food police, that's well said. I don't know. I feel like when we're on social media, we're just playing around with food, right? We're sharing things that taste really good, that we find taste really good with each other. And I try to stay in my lane, right? I think it gets a shame when people get a little itchy on there. And so I just try to like stay in the peaceful side. So I'm just going to cube this up and throw this in. So get this kind of cubed up. I like it chunky, so that's how I would like it. I'm also going to slice up some of these cucumbers for our hamburgers because I like having the cucumbers. Now, Andy usually doesn't have the cucumbers on there. In fact, sometimes he has put stinking ketchup on my Greek turkey burgers, which at the end of the day, I'm not going to be the food police. I just said I was not happy with food police, and I'm not going to be that. But I just roll my eyes. I'm like, ketchup? Really? And I love ketchup on a regular burger. But I'm like, on my Greek turkey burgers, would not recommend. That's what he likes, would not recommend it. So I just kind of cubed up some cucumbers. I'm going to get my burgers out because I think it smells, my grill smells ready. And I'm going to turn my heat up to medium high because I do want to get a sear. Okay, now, since I'm streaming, I'm going to be making sure I set the timer because I don't want to get away from myself. So the first thing I'm going to do is spray these with some olive oil. I'm also going to spray the pan, but I don't want anything to stick. It is a non-stick exterior, but I want to have insurance on this, right? And I'm going to spray in here. And I'm just going to put them on. And friends, I'll be bringing the camera over there in a little bit. Let me just get these on. There we go. Nice. All right. So, that's right. So I'm going to let it go a minute and get a good sear on it. And then I'm going to turn it down to medium-low and put the lid on for 4 minutes. So let's get a sear on it for a minute. And while that's happening, I'm going to sprinkle my red onions on there, or purple onions. It's funny that they're called red onions, and I really think they're purple. Next, let's get some of these tomatoes on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do my pepper next. So I'm just going to let it go for a little bit longer to get this sear. I'm just cutting these cheeks off. I don't know if I'm going to use all this, but let me get this off. And then I will turn that down. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to turn this down. Let me show you what I did. So this is what I like to do with my lid if I'm using my grill pan. Okay. So you see how, just get over there. I just have like this little section right here, you know, just to let some steam out. So that's kind of how I'm doing that. Let me put y'all back. And I'll make sure and show you how it looks once we flip it. Whoopsie. Sorry, friends. Oh my goodness gracious. You're all going to get motion sickness. All right. Let me get my 4 minutes on here so I don't get distracted. All right, now I'm just going to continue. I'm kind of trying to make most things be about the same size. You don't have to do it that way. I kind of like that. I feel like everything just kind of works well together. I love these orange peppers. There we go. I don't really want any more pepper than that. Let's tuck those in. Don't hide all the other pretty stuff. Okay, there we go. I'll set those aside for later. And then we get our, now you could leave the tomatoes whole, but I find that they do tend to, you know, pop when you're trying to eat them. And so I'm just going to cut them in half. I think that'll work well. So Archie, your garden just looks amazing. And I'm so excited for you about all the yummy things that you are growing there. Is there a certain vegetable that you're most excited about that's going to be on its way? I don't know, in a month or two or less or weeks? Yes, Archie said, we are spreading our passion. Food is love. They take life too seriously. I agree. I agree. As my mama said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? And next time Hubs wants ketchup, slip a few shots of ghost chili pepper. Yes, right? I'll make it sriracha ketchup. That'll teach him. But he likes spicy, so he might be like, ooh, this is even better. Okay, so I've got my tomatoes halved, and I'm just going to sprinkle them on top. Kind of bummed that my green has come to the bottom, so I'm going to do a little bit of mixing with my hands just to get some of these colors to be spread out. We eat with our eyes, right? It's good to see everything all, there we go, perfect. And then before I put on the cheese, I do have some Kalamatas. These I'm going to keep whole, and I'm going to taste one just to make sure. I love these because they give a salty bite, nice and briny. Oh my gosh, I love olives. And to think, you know, I think I've said this before, when I was a little girl, I did not like olives. One of my tasks when I'd help my mom, you know, get ready for, you know, having people over for Thanksgiving or Christmas, I need one more, is we'd have to unload the olives into a bowl. She put olives out whenever we had company. And that smell would cause me to throw my head back. I'll never forget, and I'm sure I was quite dramatic about it. But for the longest time, I avoided olives. And then finally, Archie, you'll like this. Hubs is the one that got me to start trying olives again. And we were at one of the Philly restaurants, Amada. And I had olives. I'd never smelled olives like they had there. Certainly never tasted olives like they had there. And they got me. I totally was a fan. And then I kind of started opening up to other olives then after that. So the other thing I do want to make sure is slice some cucumber for at least my turkey burger, because I like having, and I want those to be thin slices. So let me just cut that chunk off. I'll save that for later. I'll just put that there, because I don't want it to get in the way. So nice thin slices. There we go. 2. I'll do one more, just in case Hubs changes his mind. There we go. I'm gonna put this back and away. That's my timer. So I'm gonna turn back up the heat and we're gonna flip. I'm gonna put this, let me just get this over here first. Let me sprinkle on the feta. There we go. Nice. Delicious. All right. Okay, let's get those flipped. I'm gonna put my cucumber slices right there for when we build the burger. Let's flip away, move this over. All right, so let's get these guys flipped. Oh, nice. I'll bring you over so you can see. These look gorgeous. They flipped so easy. Oh, there we go. Get this one. Whoops. Okay. Let me show you. Oh, these look beautiful. I know I've taken pictures of these before when I've cooked them. Take a look at these, friends. There we go. Look at those. Gorgeous. Look at those grill marks. They're cooking up nicely. Let me put you back. Yum, yum. And they smell delicious. Smell so good. All right, so I have that on the higher heat. In about 30 more seconds, we're going to turn it down. We're going to put it back to medium low, put the lid back on, 4 more minutes, and then I'm going to start checking to see how it feels to me. Meanwhile, let me put this away because I do need this for the lemon. Okay, so I've got my slices here for the sandwich. I'm going to put this over here for right now. Turn that off. I'm going to put the spinach away. We don't need that. I am going to get some lettuce out. I like to put a little lettuce on my burgers also, and I'm not sure if Hubs will do it. We'll talk about what else we're going to be dressing our burgers with. So I've got some lettuce that I'm going to bring over here. This lettuce has seen better days. So I'm going to take that out. I'm going to get my rings back on. And I'm going to turn down my heat and cover these back up. So again, so what I find, by the way, is with a pan this wide, there's a point that if you try to cover it, it's going to fall in, right? So I just try to find that sweet spot where it'll stay horizontal on top, but it'll stay steady. And that way kind of helps everything cook. And I'm going to put my timer on for 4 minutes. There we go. All right. So our salad, the next thing we need to do is we need to make some dressing. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to get my juicer. Oh, Johnny. Hey, I do know who you are. Absolutely. It's funny, Chris, when, I don't know, you've been posting a lot lately, and I was like, which is totally fine, but it's like, I have not seen Johnny in a while. So welcome to the stream. I'm so glad you could pop in. We are making turkey burgers. We're making Greek turkey burgers. They are cooking over there and finishing up. We have put together a Greek salad with cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, Kalamata olives, and feta, and now we're going to be making the dressing. So now this was another thing that I saw people get all hyped up with the dressing. And what I found, and I think I mentioned this on another stream, is that the original inspiration for this was one I would make for my teacher lunches when I was at school. And it also included chickpeas for protein. And I could prep everything ahead of time. I could make the dressing ahead of time. And there was a great, yummy, delicious lunch for me, when we don't have a lot of time as a teacher to eat during our lunch times. So in her recipe, she used a lemon juice. But then I think someone on one of my posts was like, oh, it's got to be, red wine vinegar. And anyways, what I did find is that depending upon where you are from Greece, some people used red wine vinegar in their dressings, and others use lemon juice. So in other words, everyone needs just to take a deep breath and relax, but I will be using lemon today. And we do know that lemon is very prominent in a lot of Greek cooking, and it will definitely be in my Greek dressing. And so this is the best dressing because there really is no recipe, because you can make it how you like it. Because I know we all differ in how we enjoy acidity in our dressings. You know, some people might be a little bit sensitive to it. Other people might like it a little brighter. I myself, I like my dressings a little brighter. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm trying to think what I'm looking for. Oh, I need my little baby whisk. So let me find that. But yes, Chris, I'm so glad you could join. I hope you are well. And by the way, this burger would be, you could, because we did add some breadcrumbs. I feel totally confident because I make some other poultry burgers where I don't add breadcrumbs. I feel totally confident that you can make it without if you did not want them in there. And you could just have this over a Greek salad, and that would be phenomenal. Because I know a lot of times you're looking for, you know, no carbs, or low carbs, I should say, because just the vegetable carbs. So anyways, I just wanted to put that shout out for there. And Archie, wait, I just missed, Archie, I missed one of your troublemaking. I'm renaming you Mushy Pea Fritter Chris. Oh my goodness. And Amy, thank you. She's like, don't mention fritters. I really want some now. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. Very funny. Zucchini fritters, Eugenia, that sounds fabulous. That sounds really, really good. Excellent, excellent. And I love zucchini, and they are great here. Yes, you could substitute almond flour for sure. Anyway, so let's get to the dressing. So basically what I do, let me just get this knife, rinse this one, is I put in my lemon juice first. And then I just season it with olive oil till I'm happy. Like I said, I like a brighter dressing. I do not like, I don't know, that's just the way I roll. I like things zippy, right? Just call me zippy. I think I have a little, boy, that 4 minutes went fast. Holy Toledo. Wait a sec, and I got some, I don't mind the pulp, but I want to get that seed out. There we go. Okay, got the little seed out. Let's check this. Okay, I got to do the finger test and see if this feels right. So I'm going to just, this is, now, my disclaimer is use a thermometer. I just don't use one. So I just do a little feeling. Oh, those are feeling good. So I'm very happy with those. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off the heat, let that sit while we're finishing everything else up. You don't necessarily have to do that, but again, what you want is you don't want to, like they're not hard, they're just, they give, you want them to give. They've got feta in them. And obviously you could use a thermometer, and you could also cut inside them. But I just know them, and I know that now they can just sit tight. The warmth is up. There's some residual that'll keep them warm. But let's get to our dressing. So in here, we're going to add some salt and pepper. So simple. And again, do that to your liking. Maybe someone likes it really salty. There's feta, so feta is going to make it salty. And then some oregano. You could do fresh. I just don't tend to have fresh oregano usually with me. We'll put the rest of that in. So I always have dried. And then it's our olive oil. And you just mix it up. And you could also just put a lid on this and you could shake it up. But I've got this little mini whisk, so I'm just going to do that. For me, it's usually about half and half is what I usually like. So let me just see. And then if I'm using a sweeter vinegar like rice vinegar or white balsamic or balsamic, sometimes it's not quite that. It just depends on how zippy the vinegar is. And I'm going to take my cucumber, taste it. That's good. I like it. I think mine's good. So I do it about half and half, but you could make it to your liking, of course. Taste as you go. Make sure you're happy with it. And then you just pour this on. And you might not need all of it. I kind of eyeball and see. What the heck? I'm gonna put it all in. So that's, I mean, this is one of those meals that, and I know if anyone, I know y'all have, this is not your first rodeo, but for anyone that's watching this that is starting on cooking, please don't worry about checking out the measurements and the link of the original recipe and going with that. I know for me, it took me years till I felt comfortable just throwing things in and tasting. And although I always recommend, no matter where you are in your cooking, to taste as you go, to make sure things are tasting the way you want them. Make sure they're tasting good. All right, so we are going to be assembling. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. I got to get these buns ready. Okay, now I don't want to get those overcooked, so I'm going to move these. I'm going to move these. I'm going to remove the lid because I just want to make sure they don't go too far so I can control the heat there. And I've got these wonderful potato buns I've told you guys about from Merzbacher's in Philly that are excellent potato rolls, and I'm going to cut those and I'm going to spray a little olive oil on them and put them in my air fryer so they can, let me get this preheating, so they can just get a little toasty for our burgers. And while we're doing that, I can tell you a little bit about what else we're going to be adding to our burgers. So I just need to cut these in half. There we go. These are my favorite. I know, but a Martin's potato roll will be just fine, by the way. And then I'm just going to take my olive oil spray that I have, just give it a little spritz. There we go. So Chris, this is what you would not be having probably. You probably would not be doing the potato roll, which is totally fine. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and get these in. Okay, get those going. So they'll be ready. I'm going to move this out of the way so we can start assembling. There we go. We use this. We just do a little shuffling. All right, okay. So our burgers are ready, our salad is ready, and now we just got to talk about putting these burgers together. Now to put them together, I do not do the ketchup thing that Hubs does. If you love ketchup and you want to do that, be my guest. But what I love best on it is tzatziki. Now you can make your own, which is quite easy to make, but I go through tzatziki really quickly. I love tzatziki. I love dipping vegetables in tzatziki. I like putting tzatziki on a wrap. So this is actually not my favorite brand. There's nothing wrong with this brand, but I can't recall the one that's my favorite off the top of my head. But this one's a Boar's Head tzatziki, and it's fine. It's quite nice. The other one I like is a little bit better, and I just don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's the one I usually get. But basically tzatziki is yogurt, cucumbers, dill, some have garlic in it. I don't know if they all have garlic in it, but it's really simple to make. But this comes quite inexpensive at our grocery store, and it's just nice because I can just open it up and start dipping away. But you can absolutely make your own homemade tzatziki. The other thing that we've had on these before, which is really good, is hummus. So if you don't, because not everyone likes tzatziki, not everyone likes yogurt, and I love it, but not everyone does. So another spread that would be delicious, is not necessarily totally Greek in nature, but it is Mediterranean, is hummus. So you could do, we have done red pepper hummus, plain hummus. You could put any kind of hummus on it, and that would be nice. It would just create some moisture, flavor, all that. So for me, what my favorite is tzatziki, and that's what I'll be putting on mine. But I just wanted to kind of show you some options, and honestly, this burger is so good. You could put nothing on the bun, and it would still just taste delicious. So, and I think that's how my boys ate it first. I don't think they put anything on it. And of course, like I said, you can be like Hubs and put ketchup on it. So that is what I'm going to be putting on it. And so we're going to get it, and I'm going to cut it open so you can see what it looks like as a cross section. Let's see, and let's see what you all are saying before we go get that. And Archie was saying, it sounds like, okay, let's see here. I must give lessons on how to pronounce. Wait, I've seen, what's his name? Jamie. I can't think of his last name. You know, the chef, and it's oregano, correct? So yes, over here we say oregano, but oregano, I will say, Arch, just so you know from an American, I would much rather have your accent than mine. I think, you know, when I listen back to some of these, you know, live streams, I cringe because there's, my opinion, nothing too lovely about my accent. So I would have your accent in a heartbeat. And I love, and for right now we're watching, by the way, 1923, and I'm getting the biggest kick out of Helen Mirren with an Irish accent. So, but we finished 1883, now we're in 1923, and then we're going to run out of anything connected to Yellowstone, which will be really sad. Let's see here. And that's my favorite olive oil. I love that olive oil. And Eugenia says that's a British affectation. Just like other foreign words, Brits like to pronounce as an English word, Eugenia. I love it. You are spot on, my friend. Oh, and you even said spot on, Archie. I love it. There is no F in lieutenant. Oh my gosh, you guys crack me up. And Archie's trying to remain diplomatic. Archie, are you a diplomat though? I'm not sure. I'm kind of just wondering about that. Okay, oops. Oh my goodness. Hopefully this didn't get too brown. I'm enjoying the chat so much. Oh, but it did get quite brown. Oh well. As Hubs would say, what are you going to do? He loves things overdone, but this would be much more overdone than I would like my bun to be. So I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie. Oh, man. See, this is what happens when I get too involved in the chat. I just forget where I am, and those are hot. So Hubs would be so happy with this, and his are this way too, but those are a little too brown for me. I just like it lightly brown. I don't want it to be a crouton, for goodness sake. Okay, so we're going to assemble. So all you do here, wow, those are hot, is I like a nice amount of tzatziki. So I'm going to put, and I like it on both sides. That's how I roll. And that, I don't want to get crumbs in there. So now I'm going to, let me get another spoon because now I've just mucked it up. When the tzatziki sticks to the spoon and you can't, okay, now it's probably too much. Oh well. Oopsie. Okay, so I'm just going to smear. Okay, and then I'm going to put the cucumbers on the bottom. I find that they do better on the bottom. I like the crispness. Then I'm going to put some lettuce on top. You can, of course, do it however you'd like. And let me get, oh, that one doesn't look nice either. I'm not happy with my lettuce. It looks a little bit brown on the ends. Oh, goodness. Let me find some good stuff. There we go. Yeah, some of the tips are just a little brown. Huh. No bother. Just get one more. Okay, there we go. That should do. All right, we're good. So there's the lettuce. And let's get one of these burgers. Oh my, which one? Get this one. Look how lovely that is. Gorgeous brown. See the spinach. And here you can actually see the feta sticking out. Nice. All right, I'm going to put that down on here. And put my lettuce on top, like so. It's all going to stick out. This is going to be quite the tall burger. Oh my. Okay. Let's give her a cut so you can see the insides. All right. Let me show you. There you go. There you go. Look at that. It is perfectly done. I don't know if you can see the juices, like when I squeeze that, but it is perfectly done. Perfectly done. Look how big. Look how nice that is. All right, let's give her a taste. Let's see. Now, I wish the bun wasn't quite so done. My goodness. I'm telling you, that hits every time. It is so delicious, not missing the beef at all. And I love a beef burger, but not missing it. There is so much flavor. The tzatziki adds a zip that contrasts, and the coolness contrasts the warmth of the burger. The moisture is kept with not overworking it, not pressing the burger together too much. The spinach and the feta help lend some moisture. It is delicious. It is just one of our favorites, and I encourage you to try. It is such a lovely summer burger especially, but it would be good all year round. But we just love it, and we have been making it for years. So that's all she wrote with that. Let me see what I've missed. Oh, hey, DS. Yes, just in time. Oh, and Amy, have a wonderful evening. Good night. Thank you. And it was delicious. So coming up next week on Wednesday is Wings Wednesday, and I'm going to be making, I'm really excited about this one, reading the reviews from this fella's video. People seem to be loving. It's one of their favorite of his wings recipes. I forget who the creator is, but you know I will always give credit. But he made an Old Bay honey wings. And that sounded so delicious because in the summer, a lot of people have shrimp boils, crab boils, and they use a lot of Old Bay for seasoning. And so the idea of still being in summer and putting some Old Bay on wings and you know, drizzling it with some honey and having a sauce that has that base sounded delightful. So those will be the air fried wings next week. So my goodness, Barb, DS, Eugenia, Amy, Archie, Kathy, who's I know in the background, Matthew, Alvin, and did I say Eugenia and Chris? Yes, just everyone who came on. Thank you so much for coming on stream. For those that are watching from afar, I appreciate you joining us as well. And please make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and encourage people to give this recipe a try. If you do give it a try, please come back and comment and let me know what you thought. And again, just thank you guys so much. Until we eat again, have a great rest of your week, friends.